Now we take a look at the Texan, Scott Stevens, the Auto Value King Crunch. That's a GMC product out of Woodlands, Texas. Scott always with a big smile, a favorite with the crowd here. And he goes up against Jack Brady, a Pennsylvanian, with Kemosabe. That's a Jeep, something we don't normally see on the circuit.
Well, this vehicle, the Kemosabe vehicle, like you say, is not on the circuit that much. We did have a chance to see him outdoors earlier. He made a unique wheel stand when he ran outdoors. I don't know if he's changed the chassis or not. There it is.
Another
there
wheel
it is
stand.
again. Yeah, the short wheelbase type
with a lot of horsepower.
Yeah, with a lot of horsepower, you just see the bounce. Meanwhile, we're watching a wheel stand, and Stevens rolls over into the next lounge.
Well, now we can see what Scott does as he will go for the victory here. But watch the wheel stand. Once again, you talk about a tight suspension, a lot of horsepower, a short wheelbase. It all combines to do this right here. He nails the throttle, goes over that second set of cars, and there is the wheel stand.
He very easily could have gone
back over.
Yeah.
And in the hydroplane racing, they'd call it a blowover.
Exactly.
Here you just call it bad luck in monster truck racing. And there's a look at the Black Stallion, another Ford product. And this is Mike Botters. Mike comes in from the East Coast out of Maryland, a long haul from the East Coast to the Hoosier Dome with the Black Stallion. And look at this. Mechanical problems in qualifying. They have Bigfoot Andy Brass listed as the 12th fastest qualifier.
Mike was tickled to death with his qualifying spot. He thinks, I got to run the slowest guy in the field. But what happens? Andy Brass's problem with Bigfoot. He comes in slow.
He won't be slow now.
Brass has got it covered.
Easy victory for Andy Brass. This is a 12-truck format here in the Hoosier Dome. Andy Brass, the 12th fastest qualifier. Very uncharacteristic for Bob Chandler and his crew out of St. Louis. But whatever the problem was earlier, they have it rectified. A big victory here for Andy Brass.
The first jump is 2 cars. Look at the last jump. Completely clears all of them. I mean, clears them, Gary.
That's that 2-frame. Bigfoot 8 for Andy Brass. He advances, and look at this in-truck shot. This is Taurus, and that is the youngster from Granite City, Illinois. That is Eldon Depew. He is the nephew of Jack Willman Sr., who owns Taurus. And look who he goes up against. He's going to try to defang Snakebite Colt Cobra out of Cobra Creek, Colorado. Well, he's a mouthy driver, but on occasion he can back it up with his foot.
Yeah, I'll guarantee you that. But it's working because he's already signed a corporate sponsor. We know it's a major toy manufacturer on the side of that truck. But tonight, that's not going to work for him. Now, something interesting here. Oh, Snakebite's having a little bit of problem. He gets it shut down. A moment ago, Bigfoot ran in the left lane, and he cleared the vehicles. Okay, the way he landed. Watch the way Taurus lands. Taurus is a nose-over lander. He lands nose down like a fighter pilot. Watch the front end. Bigfoot lands nose up. There is a chassis difference on 12,000-pound monster trucks, Gary.
Well, your victor there, advancing to round 2. That is Eldon Depew in Taurus. He takes the victory as we take a look at a great crowd here in the Hoosier Dome in downtown Indianapolis. The Monster Truck Show continues as we ride once again with Eldon Depew in the cockpit of the Monster Truck Taurus. We're coming back for round 2. Stay with us as Trucks and Tractor Power continues. Gary Lee and Army Armstrong back in the Hoosier Dome in downtown Indianapolis. We are inside for Monster Truck competition. A great crowd on hand. They've seen some great action in round 1. We're ready for round 2 competition. Here are the matchups. The Crusher, Carolina Crusher against Barefoot. Also in round 2, we'll see Tropical Thunder, the fast loser from round 1, going up against King Crunch. And also in round 2 competition, Bigfoot 8, Andy Brass, going up against Eldon Depew in Taurus. All right, there's a look at Scott Stevens in the Auto Value King Crunch.
You know, we talked earlier about John Moore wanting to do good for his sponsor. One of the biggest GMC dealers in America is from Indianapolis, Indiana. I know Scott wants to put on a good show for him, but in order to do it, he's got to get past this kid right here.
Tropical Thunder. That's Wayne Smozanik. Of course, we're speaking of Ray Skillman, GMC, on the south side of Indianapolis. He races stock cars. Maybe we'll see Ray in a monster truck sometime.
I don't know. I think he's going to let this kid from Texas carry the GMC colors for him. Meanwhile, he's doing just that. He's carrying him into the next round.
Well, the Auto Value King Crunch takes the victory. Let's take a look at the replay.
Gary, when they left the starting line, Stevens had his truck completely under control. We've been talking a lot about suspension, chassis, and everything, but Scott Stevens brings out another interesting factor here. His motor is located in the middle of the truck. It's a mid-mounted motor. He's doing that to balance the truck, and it's working for him. Gary, I understand you're with him right now.
Quarterfinal victory going to Scott Stevens and King Crunch, the auto value truck, but you used all the runoff space you could down there.
Yeah, you know, I heard some noise clanging. It sounded like a clanging, but it probably was just a 4-link bar with a little bit of slop in it. Didn't want to get on the brakes real hard in case it was something broke, and if I hit the brakes, you know, I might roll the rear end out from under the truck. But the truck's not hurt. It's ready to go the next round. Just want to thank CarQuest for having this event and Auto Value Parts Stores for giving us enough money to be here.
Well, Gary, we know that Scott Stevens is going to be a player in the next round, but who else is going to roll over? We're going to find out right now. This is worth the price of admission. Chevrolet fans are going to be pulling for Taurus. On the other side, the big blue truck. Andy Brass will be driving Bob Chandler's creation. But right now, Jack Wilman Sr., the creator of the Taurus team, he's the man on the spot. He's watching his nephew do the driving. Eldon Depew, Andy Brass, Chevrolet, and Ford, Gary.
Well, these guys are neighbors separated by the river over there. Andy Browse out of St. Louis, Eldon Depew out of Granite City, Illinois, and it looks like Eldon Depew taking the victory over Bigfoot. Watch again, Army.
Well, Eldon Depew literally, look how low he stays to the ground. Stays there.
That's where he won it, right there in no man's land. The truck did not jump. It came off that first set of cars in a smooth fashion. He kept it low to the ground, and that's where he was able to apply the horsepower. He takes the victory. There's a good look at Fred Schaefer in barefoot.
Now, Schaefer's the hired gun in the sport. I love this guy. You put the money out there, he'll come race for it. The ideal scenario for Fred is to get the front end up. Now, Gary Porter has the same psyche. They both want to go wheels up on the starting line and actually hit the first jump with the rear tires. Let's see if either one of them is going to be able to figure it out. This will be a good start. It'll be a quick run. See, both of them wheels up. Porter's out on
Gary
it.
Porter takes it.
Wow.
Gary Porter takes the victory in the Carolina Crusher over the, as you call him, the hired gun, Fred Schaefer. And that, speaking of a hired gun, was a great shootout.
These guys are like two bullies in high schools just trading licks back and forth. Want to get one day, want to get one the other day. But see the wheels up start. Gary Porter did exactly what he wanted to do. He did not hit the first obstacle with the front tires. He hit it with the rear tires.
Fred had to back out of the throttle because he was out of shape coming off that opening jump, and that's where Gary Porter took the advantage. Now watch. He veers off to the right. He's out of shape right here. He backs out of the throttle to maintain control.
Yeah, and then he tried to burp the throttle, pull it back on, but too late. Porter was already on the other end. Hey, but that's what monster truck racing is all about, and that's why people love it so much.
Fred Schaefer, the fast loser from this round. He'll be back in competition as he walks down toward Wayne Smozanik there in the red shirt. Here now are the matchups for the semifinal, the Crusher and Crunch. And then it's barefoot, as we say, the fast loser against Eldon Depew's Taurus.